All right, welcome back. Today, we're diving deep into what might just be the single most important conversation in the entire universe. It's a dialogue that's hidden in one line of scripture, but it acts like the source code for all of reality. So let's get into it.
Now, at first glance, this just looks like a verse from the Psalms, right? But what if I told you that hidden inside these words is a coded conversation, a dialogue between two fundamental aspects of the divine? The Zohar teaches us that this isn't just scripture. It's the key that unlocks the entire blueprint of creation itself, the very mechanics of how worlds are built, how they're sustained, and ultimately how they're perfected.
I want you to really try and picture this. Don't just read the text, see it in your mind's eye, like a 4K cinematic scene. Imagine two celestial thrones, two whole dimensions, facing each other. On one side, you have this dimension of just radiant, expansive, pure white light, a constant outpouring of giving. That's the level of YHVH. And on the other side, a receptive, rhythmic dimension, one of structured form, a vessel that's perfectly designed to receive all that light. That's the level of Adonai, my Lord. And between them, this cosmic pulse, this dialogue of energy. You can see these cycles of release and return pulsing through everything, drawing these two realities closer and closer to a final unified horizon. This isn't a static painting. It's the living, breathing process of creation happening right now.
So, here's our roadmap for this deep dive. First, we're going to unpack this divine conversation. Then, we'll look at the engine of creation, the forces that power the whole thing. We'll map out the two worlds that make up the system, explore the rhythm of release that actually governs time, and then we're going to unlock the blueprint with some really cool modern analogies before we get to the ultimate goal, the final perfect union. Every piece builds on the last, so let's jump in.
You know, you can really think of the entire cosmic process from the very beginning until this exact moment as a dialogue. It's a conversation happening between two fundamental levels of reality. Think of it like a source and a recipient, a cause and an effect. And this isn't some conversation that happened once. It's a continuous, ongoing exchange that is literally sustaining all of existence. So, this is the big question, right? Who is actually talking to whom here? The utterance of YHVH to my Lord. Who is YVH in this context, and who is my Lord? And more importantly, why is their dialogue the absolute foundation of everything we see and experience? Answering this cosmic riddle is pretty much the entire point of what we're doing here today.
Okay, so to get this dialogue, we first have to understand the language it's spoken in. And this language, well, it's made up of two primary opposing forces. And these aren't just ideas. They are the engine driving all of existence. They're like the positive and negative terminals of the cosmic battery.
So this cosmic conversation is spoken through two primal forces. On one side, what we call the right. You have chesed, loving kindness. This is pure, unbounded expansion. It's infinite giving, like water that just flows everywhere, without any limits. Its color is this brilliant, radiant white. And on the other side, the left, you have its total opposite, Gevurah, which means strength or judgment. This is the principle of strict contraction, of setting boundaries, of creating structure and form. The Zohar compares it to fire, which consumes and defines. Its color is a deep, powerful red. These two are the absolute building blocks of our universe.
And this brings us to a huge cosmic paradox. I mean, think about it for a second. If you had a universe made only of pure chesed, just infinite expansion, it would just, poof, dissipate into nothing. No form, no structure, nothing would exist. But if you had a universe of pure Gevurah, of total contraction, it would just collapse on itself, crushing everything before it could even start. So, how is a stable reality even possible?
The solution is just brilliant. It's a third, mediating principle. It's called Rachamim, or mercy. This is the middle column, the balancing force that synthesizes the expansive energy of water on the right and the contractive energy of fire on the left. The ancient texts call it the tongue of decree, the thing that decides moment to moment how much giving and how much restraint is needed. It's this perfect harmony, this dynamic tension that's held in perfect balance, that allows our world to exist and evolve. It turns these two opposing forces from a recipe for disaster into a creative engine.
So we have our core forces, expansion, contraction, and that crucial element of balance. But where do they actually operate? The Zohar describes a really specific cosmic architecture, a system made of two distinct but deeply interconnected worlds. Let's take a look at that structure now.
Let's break this down with a tech analogy because it makes so much sense this way. Think of the upper system, which is called Bina, as the main cloud server. It holds the source code, the pure potential, the blueprint for everything. Then you have the lower system, called Malchut, which is our physical reality. That's the client machine, right? The executable program that's running the code. And that divine dialogue we started with? That's the continuous API call, the data stream that's always flowing between the server and the client. So what's the ultimate goal of this whole tech stack? It's unification. It's a future system update, a full synchronization where the client and the server finally merge into one perfect, seamless, unified system.
So how does this whole system actually operate over time? It's not static, it has a built-in rhythm. And this rhythm is based on these cycles of reset, release, and restoration. These cycles are basically hard-coded into the fabric of time itself to make sure the system doesn't crash and to slowly prepare it for that final unification.
Okay, the basic pulse is a cycle of 7. The Shemitah, or the sabbatical year, is a 7-year cycle that acts like a periodic reboot for the lower system, from Malchut. So for 6 years, the system works, right? It builds, it manifests, it accumulates data. But in the 7th year, everything just stops. The land lies fallow, debts are released. It's a system-wide pause. It's shedding all the errors it's accumulated, returning to its root state to rest and clear the cache before the next cycle starts.
Now, when you complete 7 of these Shemitah cycles, you get to 49 years. And this represents a full preparatory phase. The lower system, Malchut, has now gone through 7 complete maintenance cycles, which gets it ready for a much deeper, more profound kind of system event.
And that brings us to the 50-year, the Yuvel, or the Jubilee. Now, Shemitah is a reboot. Yuvel is a full system restore from the original source code. The number 50 is so key here because it corresponds to the 50 gates of understanding, the level of Binah, the cloud server itself. In the year of Yuvel, everything goes back to how it started. Property returns to its original owner. Slaves go free. It's a total liberation. It's a reset not just to the beginning of the last cycle, but to the original pristine state of the whole system. It's a direct download from the upper world to the lower world.
And it's not just about 7 and 50. The Zohar gives us other key numbers that are basically hard-coded into the system's architecture. The lower world is protected by 13 attributes of mercy, which kind of act like a spiritual firewall to prevent a total crash. Its whole foundation is built on 5 primary strengths or pillars, and the flow of divine energy into it is organized through 12 main channels, which correspond to the 12 tribes. These numbers are not random. They are the parameters that keep this whole cosmic operating system stable and functional.
Okay, I know this is a lot. It's super abstract, high-level mystical architecture. So to make this really tangible for everybody, we're going to use 2 really powerful analogies that are going to unlock this blueprint and help us see how all these pieces fit together in a way we can all really grab onto.
All right, first up, the video game version. Let's imagine reality is a massive game with 7 huge worlds. Each world has 7 levels. Finishing a level is like a year. So when you complete a 7-level world, that's a Shemitah cycle. You beat the boss, the screen fades, you get that "world clear" message. That's your system reboot. You save your progress, you rest up before the next world. Now, after you beat all 49 levels across all 7 worlds, you unlock the 50th level. This is Yovel, and it is the ultimate freedom level. All your gear is maxed out, every area is unlocked, all the enemies are gone, you can just explore the world in its perfected state, because you've returned to the main menu with full power and a complete understanding of the game's entire design. Now for the cosmic engineering take on this. Think of our reality, Malchut, as this massive, complex client server that's been running for a long, long time. Over 6 cycles, it accumulates junk. Laggy processes, errors, memory leaks. The 7th cycle, Shemitah, is just a scheduled maintenance window. The system throttles down, non-essential processes get terminated, the cache is cleared, and the server gets a reboot. This prevents overload, stops a catastrophic failure. But Yovel, which happens after 7 of those reboots, is way bigger. It's a full system synchronization with the primary cloud server, with Binah. You're not just clearing the cache. You are reinstalling the original, pristine operating system, restoring all the factory settings and default parameters, and making sure the communication with the source code is perfect and lag-free.
Okay, we've got the forces, we've got the architecture, we've got the rhythm. So now we can finally pull all these threads together and see the ultimate purpose of this whole grand design. I mean, why does this entire system even exist? What is the end goal of this cosmic dialogue?
The end goal, in one word, is yichud, unification.
The entire process, this dialogue between the upper and lower worlds, the cosmic dance of expansion and contraction, the cycles of Shemitah and Yovel, it's all designed for one single purpose: to gradually refine, elevate, and prepare the lower world, our client machine, so that it can finally handle a full and permanent merger with the upper world, the cloud server. It's about bringing those two thrones together so they become one.
And this final state is this incredible harmonization. The Zohar gives us this powerful image of a sacrifice on an altar. The fire is red, right? That's the color of din, of judgment. But as it consumes the offering, the smoke that rises up is white, the color of chesed, mercy. So in the ultimate unification, that strict limiting quality of judgment isn't just destroyed, it gets transformed. The red becomes white. The source text literally says the red is turned to white. The attribute of judgment is turned to the attribute of mercy. And this creates a new transcendent state, a reality where the very ideas of a giver and a receiver, of up and down, just dissolve into one perfect, harmonious whole.
And that brings us right back to where we started. The utterance of YHVH to my Lord, sit at my right hand until I make your enemies a footstool for your feet. We can see now this isn't a command between two separate beings. This is the voice of the source code speaking to the executable program. It's the cloud server talking to the client machine. It is the blueprint of a process, a promise of an ultimate convergence, where the lower world becomes so refined that it can sit at the right hand, the side of pure chesed, pure expansion, of the upper world, their dialogue finally ending in a perfect, seamless, and eternal oneness.
Thank you so much for joining us for this complete journey through the Pardes. We really hope these ancient truths help you and your family improve your own dimensions this week. If you enjoyed this full chapter deep dive, please go ahead and like, subscribe, and share which part of the journey really touched your soul in the comments below. We'll see you in the next chapter.